Hey everybody. I worked at a bakery for a while, and I worked a lot of farmers markets all over San Diego for about 8 months, and I was learning about internet marketing at the same time, kind of just starting to dip my toes into that water, and I just started to see a lot of parallels, and learning about traffic. Traffic is huge. We would go to these markets, and I'd be driving sometimes an hour to go to one of these. I would load up the van with, we were working for a bakery, so we had bread and pies, and I had to box up the pies, I had to get the bread, and sometimes I had to go pick up the bread from across town and go, on my way. So it was a big deal. We go to a market, then you have to go to the market, you get it all set up, you get your tent set up, you get all set up, it's just, a big process, and then you just sit there and you're like, okay, when are my customers gonna come? And you know what? We went to a lot of markets where they just didn't come. And it was so disheartening. It was like, oh my gosh, I spent so much money on gas and my energy and time, and for what? I sold 2 pies, wow. And so mainly what we do, all the vendors would just hang out and chat and stuff, and hopefully had a good partner on the sides of you just to hang out with. But we're just waiting there, ready. We only got like 3 hours for the market, and we're like, oh, come on, we got to make all our money in 3 hours. And it just didn't work out sometimes. And so you're just kind of like a roll of the dice. And but some markets were better than others, and so we'd test them out. We'd test markets out for a few weeks and see if we wanted to keep doing it. The factors all had to be in line. It was, yeah. So, but anyway, I remember going to one market. It was a brand new one in a great location, and we got in on the ground floor of it, so we were like one of 2 bakery people there. And so it was in a great location, a higher income neighborhood, and so we were like, all right, this is gonna be great. We got set up first day. It was awesome. There were just mounds of people coming through, and it was just the most beautiful sight in the world after being at so many slow markets where you just have a trickle of people coming in, and people kind of look at your stuff and they go, oh, I don't know, and then they go on. But we had a massive crowd come in, and it was fantastic. We almost sold out of everything, and it was just awesome. And they were just handing me money like left and right. It was fantastic. But after about 2 or 3 weeks, the excitement died down. We found out with a new market, it's kind of like that. The excitement kind of dies down after 2 or 3 weeks, and then the real customers come. I mean, like the people who are really dedicated to going to the market all the time. But then I realized it's really all about marketing. You've got to get those people to that market. I mean, to the market. You do marketing for the market, and it's so many factors involved. But after a while, that market just didn't do so great. It was in a great neighborhood, and it was in all these different factors, but the traffic was not there. And we had a good product too, so when you have, that's an important thing, is that when you get the traffic, do you have something good to sell them? And are you able to sell it to them if they need a little help to make a decision, So you got to convert that traffic into paying customers, so they don't just look at your stuff and then put it down and walk away. But the more traffic you have, the more quality traffic you have, especially like we were in that higher income neighborhood, that's good traffic. These people have money to spend. So that I just started to see the analogy, and I really started to learn that getting customers offline for any kind of business is not for me. I know you people do it, and it's possible, and people do good at it, but a lot of people struggle at it, and I really want to learn how to leverage the power of the internet to get customers for any business I'm in, anything I'm selling or whatever. The internet is where it's at, because then I don't have to load stuff into a van and and then unload it, set it up, maybe get customers, and then load it back into the van, and then unload it when I get home. That's a lot of work for, you just don't know. I mean, I'd rather just sit in my room working away on my computer and drive traffic that way. So that's what I want to do. So anyway, but see, we never experienced a high traffic market, like a really good market. See, there were, I don't know, maybe 3 awesome markets that were like the cream of the crop in San Diego, and they were really hard to get into. So I'm sure and I actually knew some people who did those markets, and that was their bread and butter. They wouldn't be able to do those other slow markets if it wasn't for the big one on Saturday. You know, they do tons of business in 3 or 4 hours, and that was it for them. I mean, they did make money at the other ones, but what kept them alive was that one big one. And so that's it just illustrates how important traffic is. And so that's what I learned. I mean, McDonald's I've heard somebody say, you can see this analogy in many ways. McDonald's, I heard somebody say, is not even really in the burger business. They're in the real estate business. They don't make the most awesome burgers in the world. Everybody pretty much knows that. So, but they have tons of stores in highly trafficked areas. So they're just into buying great real estate and then putting something to sell on that real estate. So that is another great example. I mean, so that is what I learned from farmers markets about internet traffic. All right, see ya.